You are listening to Small Business Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives small business owners the straight talk on productivity, time management, business systems, leading your teams, strategic decision-making, and mindset. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the productivity specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. Today is episode 350, diving into my daily wrap framework. If you're a small business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. Today, we're going to be diving into my daily wrap framework so that you can stop letting your day conquer you and instead plan and conquer each and every day, thus laying the groundwork for long-term success. Before we dive into my daily wrap, I want to invite you to take my Next Level Business Owner quiz. In 3 quick, short minutes, you can find out what's most holding you back from taking your business to the next level. And then you'll get a curated playlist of the podcast with specific episodes that address those challenges so that you can apply those strategies and take action immediately in your business. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/quiz. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/quiz. And now let's get to the straight talk. Benjamin Franklin said, "If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail." And he is absolutely correct. No matter what you set out to achieve, you must take the necessary steps of creating a plan. Planning on a daily level is how you go about executing on your goals. Planning your day is essential to your success because the tasks, projects, activities, and habits you do each day sets up the foundation for your weeks, your months, your quarters, your years, and your life. The good news? I've created a simple framework for planning your day that only takes 15 minutes to execute and will lay the groundwork to conquer the following day. I call it the daily wrap, which is short for Daily Review and Action Plan. If you execute it consistently, it literally can be life-changing. I have personally experienced it and witnessed it time and time again with my clients. Okay, I know. I can hear what you're thinking. Why would I spend time planning my day when I literally already have too much to do each day and so many unexpected things happen? Like my kid is sick and home from school, I'm not feeling well, my employee calls out, a project goes sideways, my client needs to speak to me right away, an upset email lands in my inbox, I get stuck in traffic between meetings, my client cancels an appointment, a vendor is late for a meeting and it runs over, my deadline is fast approaching and my team members' work is not to my standards. I severely underestimate how long tasks will take. In short, Amber, no day goes as planned, so why would I use my limited time to plan? Well, I am so glad you asked. The truth is, no day will go as planned, and that is exactly why you should plan your day. Stick with me here. I have planned nearly every day for over a decade, and no day goes exactly as planned. We live real lives and run real businesses. The purpose of planning our days is not about fully executing your plan 100% of the time, and I promise it will not be. It's about setting you up for maximum productivity and success. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about putting you in the driver's seat, taking you from being reactive to proactive. It's about being able to move through decision-making quickly. It's about being prepared to get right back on track when the unplanned and unexpected occur. It's about reducing your stress. It's about ensuring how you are investing your time is in alignment with your ideal success schedule. So now that I've laid out all the reasons why I highly recommend you doing a daily wrap on a regular basis, I want to answer the next question. When do I suggest you do the daily wrap? Well, you can do it in one of two time frames. You can do it at the end of the current day, so you're reviewing today and planning for tomorrow, or you can do it the next morning and plan for that day. There are pros and cons to both, and I'm going to break those down for you. The pro to planning your day today for tomorrow is that you get to wrap up your day, like tie it in a bow. You know, you've captured everything and you have a solid plan for when you come in tomorrow. You also won't be tempted by planning your day through how you feel. And what I mean by that is today could have gone to complete shit, like completely sideways, absolutely unplanned, all the unexpected happens. And if you're anything like me, you can have one of those days and still say, take a deep breath. Okay, tomorrow will be a better day. I know today went sideways, but tomorrow will be a better day. And I want to leverage that optimism by planning tomorrow today. I also think that there's a huge argument to be said for separating the planning and the doing. And here's why. I don't wake up every morning feeling the same way. I don't have the same motivation or the same energy, and I certainly do not jump out of bed, feet on the ground, and always consistently say, today is going to be a productive day. I can't wait to slay the day. So when you're able to separate the planning from the doing, you're not going to be planning your day through those filters that are inconsistent, which is how you feel that day. And another reason you would want to separate the planning from the doing is because of other filters, things you may be aware of or not aware of that are happening when you're making decisions about what you're doing. And they're filters like, what is easiest? What is the quickest? What is right in front of me? What do I feel like doing? What do I want to do? What sounds like fun? And you may have other filters. But when you can separate the two and put your strategic thinking hat on, and that you're making a plan based on priorities and not through all of those other filters, then the next day when you come into work, your job is to just follow the plan that you already created. And it's much easier to follow the plan when you think of, okay, I'm going to put my best employee hat on. I have a plan, the plan was created, and now my job today is just to execute the plan. I have found that to be incredibly helpful of thinking about it as two separate hats that you're wearing. The one that is the boss, the entrepreneur, the business owner, the strategic thinker, the planner, and then the doer. And not trying to bridge those together and keep alternating back and forth between decision making and planning and then the doing. Now, what are some of the pros of doing it the next morning? Well, if you never end your day consistently in the office or at the same time, or if you are ending your day out on appointments with clients, it may be very challenging to anchor the habit and the routine of planning your day at the end of each day. And if that's the case, what's more important is that it's in your schedule at a time frame where you can be consistent with showing up for it. Going back to why you may want to try and plan your day the day before is because if something happens and there is an exception and you can't make it that day, you always have a backup for the next morning that you can still get that 15 minutes in and plan the day before you get into your work. I know I keep alternating back and forth, but there are pros and cons to both. Another reason why you may want to do it in the morning is if you're currently feeling really, really low energy, frazzled, scattered, or stressed by the end of the day, if that's your current situation in your day-to-day, then that might not be the best lens to be planning your day through. And in fact, after a good night's sleep and getting a fresh start, that might be a better lens to be planning your day. And therefore, I would say shoot for in the morning. And then maybe over time, as you're making these corrections and changes and pivots in the business, and you feel less stressed and less overwhelmed and less frazzled, you can then say, hey, I wonder if planning my day in the evening or at the end of my day would work better. I also get the question of, should I plan my day like at night when I get home after dinner? Should I plan it after I'm actually done working and I do it in the off hours? The answer is no, absolutely not. This isn't something that you're trying to squeeze in off hours. I want it squeezed in and part of your work day. I don't want it to be something that feels guilty and lingering over you as something you still need to do each evening. I want it to be something that you celebrate as, okay, I'm getting clear on what happened today and I'm making a plan for tomorrow, and that feels really good. And then I get to go home and do whatever else matters to you, and investing in the people and the things that you love without the guilt and constant reminder of, oh, but I have to plan tomorrow and I have to prepare for tomorrow. So the answer is no. I would prefer it to be at the end of your workday. And another trick to this too is that I would set an alarm, and I also highly recommend that you are putting it on your calendar because you're going to have to make different decisions. If you want to be out of the office at 3, then at 2:30, you probably shouldn't be taking work calls. You shouldn't be getting into a meeting because at, 2:45, you need to jump into your daily wrap. If you want to leave at 5 o'clock, you need to back it out from there. And so making this one of those things that show up consistently on your schedule and is planned around is the key to being able to be consistent with planning your days. I want to tell you that it actually doesn't matter if you plan your day today, for tomorrow, or in the morning, if it works for you. That is the only determining factor on when you should be planning your day. I gave you some pros and cons. I prefer to plan my day today for tomorrow for all of the reasons I shared with you. But there are certainly times that doesn't happen 100% of the time, and I do plan it in the morning. Because what matters more than anything is that I don't just dive into the work reactively, but I dive into the work with a plan. So to wrap up this question as to when do I suggest you do your daily wrap, I suggest you do it at the time that works for you. And the way to find out which time works for you is based on everything I shared with you. Take a guess on which one you think would work best for you and give it a try. Give it a try, a good try for a while. And if it's not working, then it's an experiment and try the next option. So if you tried the evening and you're just not anchoring that consistently, then go for the morning. If your first gut said, I want to plan my days in the morning, and that doesn't end up working out for you, then plan in the evening. And if for whatever reason, the morning and the evening is not working for you, then you really need to be looking at how committed are you to anchoring this as a habit and a routine for your future success. Next, I'm going to teach you my daily wrap framework so that you can use it to set yourself up for success each and every day. I'm going to be sharing this with you, but today's episode has a very special resource that you can download that goes with today's episode. And what I'll be sharing with you is a beautifully designed 2-page, 2-part resource. The first page is step-by-step instructions of everything I'm getting ready to share with you. And the second page is a page you can print out and use each day when you're planning your day to stay on track with the steps and to capture what is needed for each of the steps all on one page to plan your day. If you would like to grab that resource for free, head on over to amberdelagarza.com/daily wrap. That's daily RAP. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/daily wrap. And we'll be sure to have that link in the show notes as well. Okay, as we dive into this framework, I want to just remind you of a couple things. This is created to be a very simple framework. And simple is what allows you to stay consistent with it and get it done in 15 minutes. And just because it's simple, do not underestimate this framework for having a huge impact on your business and your life. There are 4 steps to this framework. Step number 1 is review and capture tasks from today. Step number 2 is to preview and capture tasks for tomorrow. Step number 3 is to prioritize tasks. And number 4 is to create an action plan for tomorrow. Now I'm going to go through each of these steps into further detail. The first step is all about reviewing and capturing tasks to update your master task list. So where are we going to go to review and capture? Number 1 is your calendar. I want you to review today's calendar and capture any outstanding tasks and update the task list. This could be things that came up from a phone call you were on, a meeting that you were on, a task that you planned that didn't get done completed all the way, or a task that you did complete, but now you're clear about what next steps are. The point is to review and capture anything that needs to be updated on your master task list. Next, you're going to be reviewing all forms of communication. This is emails, voicemails, text messages, social media, DMs, etc. And you're going to review all forms of communication to capture and update your master task list. And as a reminder, this is not the time to be returning those emails, voicemails, text messages, or DMs. This is about capturing it and putting it into your master task list so that you can eventually prioritize when you're going to be responding to those things. Next, under review and capture tasks from today is going to be your notebook, sticky notes, paper inbox. Think all paper. I want you to review all paper where you took notes or jotted down action items or jotted down tasks. And I want you to get that updated inside your master task list. All of this is to help funnel your tasks from all these different platforms. Think your calendar, your communication platforms, paper, and that it all goes into your one master digital task list. Okay, so once you've reviewed today, we're going to go to step 2, which is to preview and capture tasks for tomorrow. So now I want you to go back to your calendar and look at tomorrow and preview it and see if there's any additional tasks that you need to capture and update. An example of this is if you have a meeting tomorrow and you haven't yet finished a task that needs to go with that. Most of the time, this is just going to be a quick glance and double checking that you have anything that you need to get done on your radar to be properly prepared for tomorrow. This is just one of the areas, but specifically this step is helping you move from being reactive to proactive. The next thing I want you to do in preview and capture tasks for tomorrow is to do a mind sweep. I want you to give yourself the gift of just pausing for a moment and asking yourself, is there anything else that I need to get updated on my master task list? And this could be honestly anything. It could be about tomorrow. It could be about next week. It could have no date attached to it at all, and it was a thought or an idea that you had. In fact, you could have spoken to a colleague and found out that they were pregnant, and you thought to yourself, oh my gosh, I want to get them flowers to congratulate them, or I want to get them a gift. And the idea was great, but you kept it in your head. It didn't get captured, and it certainly didn't get on your task list so that you could properly prioritize it and make sure that that gets done. So just this moment in time, you're going to get into the habit of giving a quick mind sweep of asking yourself, is there anything else? That's it. So this brings us to step number 3. So at this point, you have updated your master task list with all the tasks that are coming in from all the places. And you have got a complete list of everything that you need to be doing. So that means anything that you're going to be investing your time, energy, and attention into. So to properly prioritize tasks from your master task list and determine what you're going to invest your time, energy, and attention into for tomorrow are 2 things. Everything that needs your time, energy, and attention because context matters. And your calendar, because that's also context and it tells you what your capacity is. So prioritize tasks by taking your master task list and capacity to complete those tasks into consideration. So if you're planning your day today for tomorrow and you look at tomorrow and you're going to be in the office most of the day and you have one meeting, then you're going to be able to pull down and prioritize many more tasks than if you looked at your calendar tomorrow for capacity and you were in meetings most of the day and you only had about an hour to work on tasks. So taking into account what your capacity is and the tasks that need your attention is how you can properly prioritize and answer the question of, what am I going to be focusing on tomorrow? Once you've identified what exactly you're going to focus on tomorrow based on all of the tasks that need your attention, then you're going to go into step number 4, which is to create an action plan for tomorrow. And simply put, creating an action plan tomorrow is going to take your priorities and you're going to schedule those specific priorities on your calendar. So what I want you to do is review and adjust your time blocks for high value activities, your weekly schedule that you already have on your calendar. So based on priorities, do you need to make any tweaks to things that are already on your calendar? And next, after that, you're going to schedule in the specific tasks based on those priorities. And when you do that, you're answering 3 crucial questions that help properly plan and take something as abstract as time and make it concrete. You're answering the questions of, what am I specifically doing? When am I doing it? And for how long will I be doing it for? When you add an entry onto your digital calendar, you have to answer those 3 questions. And this is really, really helpful to properly plan what you can actually get done the next day. If you were to just write a list of what you're going to get done tomorrow and they're all bulleted, it's really hard to weight them and say, okay, I looked at my calendar, I have 4 hours, and then I pulled these tasks down and I have 8 tasks. So does that mean each task is 30 minutes? No, that's never what happens. And if you had 4, does that mean all 4 tasks, each of them is an hour? Absolutely not. So when you're creating this plan, an action plan for tomorrow by specifically scheduling tasks onto your calendar, you're able to be more accurate with what you're planning, which means you'll be more successful with picking the absolute high priority items. And you're going to get better at estimating how long things actually take. Because when you start planning your day each and every day and you start scheduling specific tasks over and over again, you're creating this data and this feedback loop to where you're teaching your brain, how long does something actually take? And all of this is happening in this step, which is magic that's happening underneath planning your days, that's going to allow you to be better with your time. it's going to actually create a better relationship with time because nothing feels worse than saying, I'm getting 6 things done and you got 3 done. And maybe those 3 were really important. And maybe you were effective and efficient. And that was exactly what you were supposed to get done. But that's not what your brain told you. Your brain said, yeah, I got those 3 done, but I had 6 on my list. By not skipping this last step and scheduling specific tasks, you're going to get more and more accurate with what your capacity is, which brings up a whole nother topic of being able to understand your capacity so that you understand what your boundaries are, how much work you can take on, who you're saying yes to, when you need to say no to things. And you understand those are good strategies to have is boundaries, understanding your capacity, but you might be missing this tool of actually knowing your capacity so that you know when to use those tools. So I'm going to wrap up these 4 steps and remind you that you can download the details to the daily wrap by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/daily wrap. That's daily RAP. So for 15 minutes each day, you're going to be moving through these steps. You're going to, number 1, review and capture tasks that came into your world today. And then you're going to move to step number 2, which is to preview tomorrow and capture any tasks for tomorrow. Then to step number 3, which is to prioritize tasks based on all the tasks that need your time, energy, and attention and your capacity. And then you'll move to step number 4, which is to create an action plan for tomorrow by scheduling those specific priorities on your calendar and answering 3 questions. What am I specifically doing? When am I doing it? And for how long am I doing it for? Doing your daily wrap consistently lays the groundwork for setting you up to be productive and conquer each day. It has helped so many of my clients get back on track to achieve their goals and attaining long-term success. If you start executing my daily wrap framework and experience the awesome results I know are possible, you might be interested in diving deeper into game-changing strategies and frameworks like my business blueprint, my yearly overview, my quarterly focus, monthly milestones, and ideal weekly success schedule. Executing those frameworks will help you become a better, less stressed, more profitable, and more in control business owner. If that is the case and you are curious about what it would be like working together and having a business coach supporting you, guiding you, and holding you accountable for executing, taking action, and attaining success, then I'd love to speak with you about private coaching. You can learn more and schedule a discovery call by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/coaching. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/coaching. I have loved having you listen to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. And I sure hope you found my framework, the daily wrap, to be valuable. But I need to be straight with you. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So today's call to action is going to be to download the details of the daily wrap as well as the daily checklist you could use to keep you on track to do the daily wrap. You can access that over at amberdelagarza.com/daily wrap, RAP. Next, schedule 15 minutes on your schedule each day to perform the daily wrap. Decide, are you going to do it at the end of today for tomorrow or at the beginning of today for today? Wherever you decide, make sure you get it on the calendar and schedule around it. If you are new here, I want to welcome you to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you have been here for a while, I want to thank you for joining us and ask you to share this episode with another business owner who you think would find it valuable. And today we have a special thanks going out to the online integrator who recently left a review and said, "If you're looking for real experience shares from small businesses and entrepreneurs who have gone before you, look no further. Amber brings on guests that are not only knowledgeable and have expertise, but also have the real life experience. Amber is an authentic host bringing practical strategies for entrepreneurs." Thank you so much for leaving me a review, the online integrator. And I would be so grateful if you would like to leave a review wherever you're listening to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. I really appreciate you tuning in each week, and I'm grateful for the feedback that you share. So that's my Straight Talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.